Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals I made this past week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you're interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first dinner I'm going to be showing you, I just made a yummy pesto chicken pasta. This is one of my husband's favorite meals, so I will always have to incorporate this every so often. I'm starting out with my chicken. I'm just going to chop up 1 large chicken breast into small bite-sized pieces for the pasta. Once the chicken is all chopped up, I'm going to work on seasoning it. I'm going to use some Cajun seasoning, my absolute favorite, some salt, and a little bit of garlic powder. Before I start cooking up the chicken, I'm going to work on my vegetables. I'm just using frozen broccoli. I always use frozen vegetables. I just find it a lot easier. So I like to throw them in a pan and put them in the oven to kind of defrost. Once the broccoli is in the oven, I'm going to work on my chicken. So to my pan, I just drizzled a little bit of oil, let that heat up, and now I'm just going to cook this chicken on about medium high until it is all the way cooked through. So again, I'm just going to season the chicken a little bit more with that Cajun seasoning. At the same time that I'm cooking the chicken, I have 1 box of bow tie noodles cooking. I don't know the actual name, I forget, but I'm just going to cook 1 box and drain them. That way there is leftovers for my husband to take for lunch. Once the broccoli has slightly softened and defrosted, I'm just going to season a bit and then throw it back in the oven at 350 degrees. Once the noodles are ready to drain, I just did that, and now I'm going to throw them in the same pot that I cooked them in and just combine everything together. So I'm going to add in the chicken, and then I'm just using some pesto. This really is one of our favorite meals. And of course, I have to add in some Parmesan cheese to the pasta. I'm just going to use a grated canned kind. You can totally use fresh. This is how everything looked when it was done. I just served it with that broccoli and made a slice of garlic bread for my husband. This was so good. The next dinner I'm going to be showing you is what I call chicken pot pie soup. This is basically what I make to put in the pot pie, but I just like to have it as soup as well. I'm going to start out with my potatoes. I am using gold potatoes, and I'm just going to cut them up into really small pieces. I remembered I'm not going to be mashing these, so I had to go back and kind of cut them a little bit smaller. I also like to keep the skin on these. I don't have a preference. I'm just not going to spend time peeling them. We love a lot of potatoes in this soup or chicken pot pie, honestly more than chicken, so we love to use a good amount of these. Once I finished up the potatoes, I just washed them, drained them, and now I have them on the pot to boil in some chicken broth. While that happens, I'm going to work on the chicken. I'm just going to cut my chicken up into really small bite-sized pieces, just like the potatoes. I'm just going to lightly season the chicken with some salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. So now this is when I start cooking everything together. So the potatoes have been boiling and are slightly softened. I'm going to add in my frozen peas and carrots to the pot. Then next I'm going to add in my heavy whipping cream. I just add a little bit of heavy whipping cream just to make it nice and creamy. At the same time, I am cooking the chicken on a separate pan. Next, I'm going to season with a little bit of onion powder and add in my cooked chicken. And then of course add in some garlic powder. At this point you can definitely taste test the broth to see what else it needs. Now I'm a thick soup kind of girl, so I like to make really thick soups. I use cornstarch slurry to do just that. You just do equal parts cornstarch and water and throw it in, let it thicken up for a couple minutes, and then keep doing that if you need to. At this point you can definitely see it start to thicken up, so I add a little bit more. And this is going to turn that broth into like a nice thick gravy. So at this point, I'd like to just let it sit and simmer and thicken up. This is how everything looked when it was done. I just served it in a bowl with some French bread on the side. The last dinner I'm going to be showing you, I just made a chicken and vegetable stir fry with some teriyaki sauce. First, I'm going to work on my chicken breast. I am butterflying one large chicken breast in half and cutting them up into really small bite-sized pieces. For the stir fry, I believe I might have used 2 full chicken breasts just to have leftovers for the next day. For the stir fry, I'm going to add in my red bell pepper. I did not get a clip of cutting the bell pepper or the onion, unfortunately. So I'm just going to add that to a little bit of oil and start sauteing that around for a couple minutes. I'm also going to add in a little bit of red pepper flakes for some flavor. So after a couple minutes, I'm quickly going to add in my onion. I don't want these vegetables soggy before I mix everything together. I do want still a little bit of bite when we eat. Once they had slightly softened, I'm going to add in my raw chicken. I just seasoned with a little bit of regular seasoning, and I'm just going to throw that in and cook the chicken up until it is all the way cooked through. One tip that I have is to have your pan on high, so like medium high, that way all of the liquid that comes out of the chicken or the vegetables just really evaporates, and that's what all this steam is. I'm just going to add in a little bit more red pepper flakes for some spice. At this same time, I do have some frozen broccoli in the oven getting nice and crisp. That way I can add it straight to this pan. Again, all of the steam is good. It's making sure all of that liquid is evaporating. So next I'm going to add in the sauce. Normally I do like to use my own sauces, but I also like to use just plain bottled sauces. This is just the teriyaki sauce from Panda Express. I'm just going to finish mixing this all together and make sure the rice is done on the side, and this will be ready to serve. This is how everything looked when it was done. I can eat chicken and rice for the rest of my life. I just love it so much. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.